To Brazil now, the 17th BRICS Leaders Summit gets underway in Rio De Janeiro in Brazil on Sunday under the theme Strengthening Global South Cooperation for More Inclusive and Sustainable Governance. And President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to lead the South African delegation. Today, the Business Forum finalises discussions on the challenges of global economic growth. And SABC News international editor Sophie Mogwena spoke to Caz Coovadia from B20 South Africa, who's a Sherpa in Rio de Janeiro.
So can you briefly tell us the discussions in the morning where you had BRICS Business SA and also B20? What was the intention with that engagement in the morning?
Well, the B20 together with BRICS and Boston Consulting and CNI and others hosted a breakfast. The panelists talked about the fact that we have a world that's fundamentally changing, and B20 is being held at a time when this world is fundamentally changing. It gives us the opportunity to bring C-suite business people as well as business organizations from the G20 countries together. And we're quite clear that what the current geopolitical situation offers us as an opportunity is to have a reset of the way we interact on doing trade, investment, and actually growing society and growing inclusive economies. I've just come to BRICS from the FFD4 in Seville, and the message there was that we need to reset, and the current geopolitics gives us the opportunity as certainly emerging nations to strengthen the blocks we have, like BRICS. And I think that what BRICS now needs to do is to ensure that we increase intra-BRICS trade and intra-BRICS investment, on the back of which things like a BRICS rating agency and a BRICS payment system and so on will flow. But our focus has got to be on increasing intra-BRICS trade and intra-BRICS investment, and we are certainly focusing on B20 to promote what Africa has to offer and what the global south has to offer, and what sort of relationships need to be established on a trade and investment basis between BRICS, between Africa, between the global south, and countries in Europe and countries in other parts of the north that want to collaborate to build inclusive societies.
One issue that is quite dominating the talks here is the issue of the payment system, including using national currencies when member states are doing business amongst themselves. How popular is that view? Is it possible to move in agreement all member states to adopt using local currencies or national currencies for payment?
Look, certainly my view is that that shouldn't be the focus. I think the focus, as I said, should be on intra-BRICS trade and investment. And on the back of the trade and investment, payment system begin to grow, intra-BRICS payment system begin to grow. Certainly on the continent we have regional payment system. We have a regional payment system for SADC. We have a regional payment system for East Africa, and those are working reasonably well. I think across the BRICS countries it will take time for a BRICS payment system or BRICS currency to actually develop. And currencies and payment system develop on the back of trade and investment. And I think our concentration should be trade and investment, and then the others will follow.
Another burning issue globally is the tariffs. The tariffs that have been imposed by the United States of America to some BRICS member countries, particularly targeting China. How does BRICS navigate this challenge of trade war or trading system that is changing? And this happens at time where you need more working together, particularly as we continue to recover from COVID-19?
So I think there are a couple of things here. The one is obviously countries will have bilateral discussions with America, like South Africa is having, for instance, to try and reduce those tariffs and to try and reach some sort of an agreement. But I think more important is we need to ask ourselves the question, when we're talking about relationships, when we're talking about working together, who relates to each other and who works together. So again, coming from Seville for FFD, for the United States wasn't there. But the countries that were there had excellent discussions on relating to each other, on working with each other, countries of the North and countries of the South. And so I think what we need to do is we need to ask ourselves, do we spend all our time trying to address the tariffs that the U.S. is putting on countries? I think we do need to spend certainly bilateral time on dealing with that. But I think multilaterally, as countries in the South and countries in the North, we need to ask ourselves, do we establish different forms of relationships? Do we establish different types of alliances that begin to shift markets, that begin to address tariff issues in a different way? So should China be exporting more to countries in the BRICS area and countries in Africa rather than to America, for instance? Not to replace their export to America, but to actually broaden their markets elsewhere. And so I think that what this offers us is that America is no longer the sort of hegemon, if you like, in trade and investment. It offers us the opportunity to actually create different markets, to create different relationships, and that's what we should be looking at.